Most days when I scroll through Reddit, I see the usual stuff, funny memes, everyday stories, people sharing their opinions. But every once in a while, you stumble across something different. Something that gets under your skin and won't let go. Tonight, I want to share 3 stories that have haunted me long after I read them. These aren't your typical scary stories with ghosts or monsters. No, these are the kinds of stories that make you question what's real. Stories about things that vanish without a trace, shadows that move on their own, and secrets hiding in the walls of a house. If you're watching this alone, maybe keep the lights on, because once you hear these stories, there's no going back. So, I live alone in this small 2-bedroom house I got from my aunt. Pretty quiet spot. Nothing crazy ever happens around here. But a couple months ago, I started hearing some weird noises coming from the wall behind my bedroom. At first, it was just some light scratching, like rats or something small scurrying around. But it didn't stay like that. The scratching turned into knocking. Slow, deliberate taps, like someone was trying to get my attention or something. I called pest control, thinking it was some kind of animal. They came, looked around, but found nothing. No trappings. The place was clean. Then one night, I woke up freezing cold, even though my windows and doors were all locked tight. And get this, the closet door was wide open. I swear I had shut it before bed. Next thing, I got hit with sleep paralysis. First time ever. I couldn't move a thing, and I felt this dude standing near the closet. He looked messed up, dirty clothes, pale face, and his mouth was moving like he was whispering, but I couldn't hear anything. Then I blinked, and he was gone. I told myself it was just a nightmare, but the knocking? It kept going. One day, I noticed a small hole behind the closet, about the size of my hand. I shined a flashlight in, and there were food wrappers, a blanket, water bottles, even a journal. Someone had been living inside my walls, like for months or maybe years. The last page said, "She still doesn't know I'm here." I packed up and got out of there fast. In 2019, my best friend Eli and I decided to go on a hiking trip near Mount Shasta. We were both used to the outdoors and had done this trail several times before. Nothing too difficult or dangerous. It was more about getting away from the noise of everyday life, just the 2 of us in the trees. The day started out perfectly. The sun shone through the thick canopy, birds chirped, and a soft breeze carried the fresh smell of pine. We were chatting and joking, feeling relaxed. But as we got deeper into the forest, something changed. We came upon a clearing, a place I don't remember ever seeing before. The silence hit me first. It was unnatural. No bird song, no rustling leaves, no distant sounds of animals moving. Just an eerie, heavy silence that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Eli walked over to the edge of the clearing and just stood there, staring into the dark trees. His eyes were glassy and unfocused. I called his name, then again, louder, but he didn't respond. It was like he wasn't there. Then, in an instant, he was gone. One moment, he was standing right in front of me, and the next, nothing. No sound, no movement, just empty air. I started shouting his name, panic rising fast. I ran around the clearing, looking everywhere, the ground, the bushes, the trees. But there was no sign he'd been there at all. No footprints, no broken twigs, nothing. I flagged down some hikers and told them what happened. They said they didn't see anything, but agreed to help search. The park rangers were called, and they searched for days, but found absolutely nothing. It was like Eli had vanished without a trace. Then things got even stranger. When I tried to look up information about him, school records, ID, family photos, there was nothing. No social media, no records, no proof he ever existed. His parents' house was empty, covered in dust and cobwebs. Neighbors said they hadn't seen anyone living there for years. It felt like everything about Eli was erased. I still don't understand what happened. Sometimes late at night or when I'm alone in the woods, I swear I can hear his voice, faint, calling my name. It's haunting, and it's why I've never gone back to that trail since. I worked as a live-in nanny for a wealthy family in a huge old house. It was one of those places with long, creaky hallways, tall ceilings, and dark corners that always made me feel uneasy. The baby was adorable, and the parents seemed nice enough, but the house itself had a strange energy. One night, around 2 a.m., I was watching the baby monitor. It was a bit grainy, but I could see the baby sleeping soundly in her crib. Suddenly, the screen flickered and the video cut out for a moment. Static filled the screen, then it came back. But the baby wasn't there. My heart stopped. I jumped up and ran to the nursery, expecting the worst. But the baby was there, fast asleep, wrapped tightly in her blanket, just like always. Confused, I went back to the monitor and rewound the footage to see what had happened. That's when I saw it. The baby was lifted out of the crib, but there was no one holding her. Her blanket floated in the air, moving as if an invisible force had picked it up, then gently set her back down. Then something else appeared. A shadow crossed the wall behind the crib. It wasn't a normal shadow cast by a person or an object. This shadow was twisted, with long, spindly fingers that seemed to stretch and curl unnaturally. It didn't have a face, just a dark mass that shifted and pulsed. I was frozen, staring at the screen, not believing what I was seeing. The next day, I showed the footage to the parents, hoping they would believe me. Instead, they told me I was imagining things, that I was fired, and that I should never come back. The night before I left, I stayed up watching the monitor one last time. At some point, the crib was empty again. The shadow was standing there, staring straight into the camera. And then it smiled.